All right.
Craig.
Yeah.
Craig.
Yeah.
Got it. I heard we got a good one. You tell me.
We do. Listen to this. We got marketing master mindset and Michael Jackson's monkey with McBilly C.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the Insurance Dudes, a podcast for insurance agency owners helping us to think of different ways to optimize our business and our lives.
There we go. What's up?
How you doing?
Your reaction.
Good, man. Yeah, Preston says hi. I was just talking to him. Says hi, guys.
Oh, awesome.
Dude, your background is like badass, man.
Thank you.
Got the Nintendo. Nice. Okay, got some rock stars in there.
Any favorites? Anything stand out?
I think some of these I don't even recognize, to be honest with you.
How old are you?
I just turned 30, so.
Okay.
Does that make you a millennial?
I guess so. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like blurred now. I would say, yeah, I would say I'm a millennial.
Do you get offended by millennial jokes?
No, I love them.
Good.
I don't think you definitely don't fall into any of the categories of those jokes.
Right.
Maybe no, because so I was like watching just very recently the this new kind of what's this, the Old Town Road, right? It went like viral, and I was seeing a documentary, just like a quick documentary, saying that it went viral because of TikTok, like the app TikTok. And
Crazy.
Yeah, so you probably haven't heard of it. I've never heard of that app. You've heard of it?
Heard of either thing.
Yeah, the music app.
Okay, yeah. So
Dude,
they were like,
I'm on it.
"Oh, you're on it? Oh, wow, dude." So, because they're saying so if you don't know what TikTok is, that means you're older than 16 years old or something. So
Dude, and that's so I don't go on it because it's all these teenagers. This is gonna make me sound horrible. So I signed up. Okay, let me preface this with, you listen. I listen to all kinds of people all over the internet, like Gary Vaynerchuk. And he's like, he's talking about TikTok, and I want to be more involved in everything. So I'll check out apps all the time. So I checked out the app, went on it, and then realized it's just constant feeding of girls and stuff dancing in their bedroom. It's so ridiculous.
I think it's like a dub, right? It's almost like Smash Dub or something, like the old one, where you choose either a music or a movie scene, and then you act it out, but the sound is from the movie, which I think is a pretty interesting app.
I didn't realize the movie aspect of that, but it's mainly just, it's a lot of hip hop and a lot of people in their bedrooms, and it's teenage silliness.
Right. Basically for people that don't have anything to do. That's probably why we're not on it,
Yeah.
Oh, I do see Michael Jackson though. All right. Okay. The Moonwalker.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson would
I
probably
love
be
Michael Jackson.
app.
Yeah.
He definitely will be, for sure.
Would love that app if you.
I went to his house a couple times in my younger year. It's true
Michael
story.
Jackson? No way, dude.
Yeah. I played in a band, and
No way. Okay.
our publicist was the Jacksons' publicist. So every year, Joe Jackson had his birthday party over at Neverland Ranch, which is pretty cool. A whole bunch of B and C-list celebrities, and used to hang out. And I don't know. It was pretty cool. Hang out with Paris.
Yeah, that's cool. Did you get to meet him?
So I didn't get to meet him. So the second time I went, I was like, I have to meet him. So I wore my Bad t-shirt from the 1988 Bad tour. And I'm like, I'm going to meet him this time. His property's huge, playing at all this stuff, but his house is in one section. So I'm walking up to the house. That's it. I'm just going to knock on the door and say, hey, huge fan, would love, just want to say hi. So I'm starting to walk up to the door, and all of a sudden Janet Jackson walks out with Jermaine Dupri. And I'm walking up and I'm all,
what the hell? That's awesome.
I couldn't do it. I was freaking out. But
Did you talk to Janet?
I didn't talk to Janet. Talked to pretty much all the other Jacksons.
Wow, that's really cool.
Dude, that's a cool experience. Yeah.
That was.
I would love to meet him.
Did you
I
ride a
would have
giraffe?
loved.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? What?
Did you ride a giraffe?
I didn't. I played with his monkey with Jennifer Love Hewitt. Is that weird? Does that
Are we
sound
allowed
weird?
Play with his
that?
monkey with Jennifer
we
Love
say that?
Hewitt.
Yeah, in the middle of like the park, they took the monkey out and played in the park.
Is that a form of threesome? I don't know.
This is the worst way I could tell the story, I think.
No, I think it's cool, man. That's awesome.
It was crazy. It was cool. It was fun.
Yeah.
So McBilly Psy.
Yes, Craig. Yeah, dude. Like, thanks for having me here. It's technically C, but it's so weird because like over here, no, it's fine. It's fine. Like it's so, especially like on the phone, you know, like if I'm calling the bank or something, so I just use Psy as well, just because it's like easier to spell. They're like, C, is that like a letter C? You know?
The path of least resistance, right?
Right.
You probably 90% of people say Psy, and you're like, all right, whatever.
Like, you know what? Let's just stick with Psy.
Yeah.
But McBilly though, so a lot of people keep asking me, like, is that your real name? You know, so that is my real name, and there's a story behind it. So Mac in Irish, it means son of, and my dad's name is William, which is another name for Billy, and so literally, like, my name translates to like son of my dad, which is like William. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool story, you know?
Pick that? Like he really said, I want to call him McBilly?
Yeah, he was like, he's just full, you know, he's like so full of himself. It's like, I got to name this guy like my son. He couldn't do junior, so.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a cool name. Have you ever met another McBilly?
No. It's that's actually the cool thing about it. It's so unique that I was able to like buy my own domain name because like nobody uses McBilly. So it's and it's so easy. Yo, the good thing about it is like it's so easy to get your social media tag, like the name, because you know, like if you have like John, then you know, like somebody else already got it. But like, you know, all my social media, it's the same thing. So thank you, Dad.
That's awesome. So, dude, McBilly, like tell us the story behind the dude. Like, why, you know, where'd you come from? What do you do?
Man. So yeah, my story has is a little bit more unique. So you know, like I'm an immigrant from the Philippines, half Chinese, half Filipino. Came here, you know, right before I turned 21. You know, I've been in a lot of industries before getting to where I am right now. So I currently run a white label agency. And what that means is, you know, our agency runs like fulfillment, basically advertising. We run the ads for other agencies who are basically selling it, right? So, you know, for the clients, the customers, they don't know that they think that they're working with that agency, but we're pretty much running it behind the scenes. And, you know, like right before I moved here, it's kind of funny. You said that you work in the rock band. Back then in the Philippines, I was a TV host, and I was a host for like a travel show. But this is way back, right? Like I was like 19 years old, like fresh out of college, you know, pretty cool experience. But like I knew my background was computer, but I've always wanted to get into like business, you know. So when I moved here, it was really difficult because like I didn't know anyone. Pretty much my parents separated. I moved here so that I could get closer to my dad. He gave me the opportunity to get the green card, you know, so, you know, it's very difficult. I don't know if you guys are, you know, I'm pretty sure most of you are aware. So I had to like make a decision. I'm like, you know, should I leave my old job? It was pretty cool, but like start a new life here. And so, you know, I opted to do that. So I had to like start from scratch, right? Pretty much like my first job was like, you know, working like Home Depot or something, you know, just trying to like, you know, like, you know, make something out of myself. But I used to work in the pathology lab in like the healthcare sector before. I know it's like all over the place, right? Just trying to figure out like where I wanted to go.
Sure.
But I've always wanted to, create a business of my own, right? Mainly for the freedom, and, the financial aspect of it and like the time aspect. And 2017, this was about 2 years ago. That was when I really took a leap. I was obviously I was employed, and I was like, you know what? I'll look around and, my coworkers, I love them, but it's just so I just felt that I wasn't like going to the direction that I wanted, like you see, like I was like, these, like, I love them, but they're like talking about retirement on like age 65, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right. So I quit my job, very excited, like, yeah, I could do this. But then it was hard, right? As we all know, as entrepreneurs, it's super hard. We have a very optimistic view at it. And then I had to like struggle to, through that, got into a lot of debt, as we all know. But yeah, so about a year ago, that's when it started to like turn around for me. Instead of focusing on like, building my agency, but like the client side, I saw that I was very good at like building systems, and like the advertising side, the actual fulfillment side. And so I just focused, instead of doing that, I saw a huge shift when I started doing less, right? Like I just removed all of that and I just focused on like white labeling. And, that's where I was able to find success.
That's cool. We just talked to somebody, same kind of thing. And it's so funny that doing less is more, right? You just double down on what you like, what you're good at, get other people that are good at the other stuff. And that's really where it can take off.
Yeah, no, that's true. And then, I mean, I think the main thing is like understanding also where your weakness is, right? Understanding where your weakness is and then trying to, find that from other people, right?
Yeah.
I think that's like huge, having that synergy, right?
Yeah, totally. So how was that transition?
So, yeah, I mean, so the cool thing, how I got into like the insurance world as well, I would say, is because we do a lot of marketing for mortgage loan officers. And so I was doing a lot of white label for, mortgage, real estate, insurance as well. And then when I wanted to go heavy on insurance, I was like asking around like online, like, who do I talk to with regards to insurance? And that's when I met Preston. We just met like online, and, we just started chatting and, from there, like, like you and I both know, like Preston is just like, he's such a genuine person that, okay, this is the guy that, like I can trust, and so from there, we got to like talk about and just kind of like relate with each other about the struggles and, the growth as well, on where we want to go. And we really essentially, we just built like a friendship, and then we met at a mastermind last, I would say like July. And that's when we really kind of like cemented like a partnership. And then from there, we just started going more heavier on the mortgage side. But then if you think about it, right, from the insurance perspective, you want to, at the end of the day, you just go after like mortgage loan officers as referral partners, and, you get a ton of business from there. Right.
Yep.
So, yeah, go ahead.
What mastermind?
Oh yeah. So this was a mastermind by Bobby Stocks. This was in Puerto Rico. Yeah. It's seriously, it's a small world, especially in our space. Right. And that's why, it's pretty cool but that's why you also need to make sure that you put quality out there, right? Because like, it's a very small industry. Like your reputation is so important. You want to put that like, first, and just putting out value first. And then, people just talk, right?
It's true.
How is that relationship with Preston? Because I think that you guys probably fit because you have different skill sets, right?
Right,
So
right.
You like these things, you want to focus on that. Then you have Preston, who's ultra creative and, just all over that right brain stuff. How does that work, and how does that relationship, how has the 1 + 1 equaled 4 or 5?
Right.
A million?
Yeah. So I would say, like, especially for for people that are starting out, especially, or even not even starting out, right? You just have to be kind of honest with yourself, understand what are your strengths and weaknesses, and really find someone that can complement that, right? And like what you said, Craig, it's just what it is. It's such a good partnership because our strengths, we can do some other things that the other person can do, but not as good, right? So he is definitely more on like the right brain, very creative. He's really good with the sales side. And so he handles a lot of our front end, and he's more of the face, right? And then for the building the systems, all the technical aspect, I handle it on my side. And it's such a good partnership because, I mean, honestly, especially for like insurance agency owners, we try to wear so many hats, right? That you just can't do all of them, and that's one thing that I've been doing right now is just doing a lot more of like time blocking, right? Managing your time. I'm a huge proponent with like self-improvement and just like making sure like you actually have a routine, right? And that has really helped a lot. Actually, I don't know if you guys you've heard of this, like the motive ring or like the aura ring. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
So highly recommend for anyone that's listening. So this one, basically, it's kind of like a Fitbit, but instead of being on your wrist, it's on the finger. So it's just a ring. It looks really nice, Essentially what this is it tracks all of your, the same thing. It tracks your steps, tracks your calorie burns. However, more importantly, it tracks your sleep. So you know how like we have different levels of sleep, right? So with this one, if you are, it tracks when you are in like REM sleep, where you're actually like the best type of sleep, where you can actually like rest the best, so that at the end of the day, sleep is so important that it's like understated, right? Like nobody talks about it, but for us to be productive in our day to day, we need rest. And this tracks, it has an app. It just, it tracks your sleep. And it's so interesting because depending what time I sleep, what you eat before, if you eat something before you sleep, it gives you such a, such good data,
We were just talking about that. Craig's been hitting the ice cream.
I've been hitting the ice cream at about 9, and that's just not working out. It's not all going down here.
And I did see Craig write down stuff when you were talking about the ring, which means I'm pretty sure he's going to be on Amazon in about 30
what
minutes.
was the name? I wrote the things it does, but I didn't write the name.
Yeah, so it's called Motive, MOTIV. It's like $200,
Okay. Well, I'll just make Jason pay for it.
Bill me.
Go for it.
I have his login for Amazon. I'll give that out too.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, no, I highly recommend it. This one, and just like different like life hacks, right? Time blocking. But yeah, the relationship has been like excellent, and I think the cool thing about it too, because honestly, like it's so hard to find a partnership, and especially between the two of you guys, you guys realize, like it's so hard to trust someone, because when it comes to money, it's just like it's on a different story, right? So the cool thing about it is we didn't create the partnership. With like, hey, you got to sign this paperwork, like NDAs and stuff like this. It started more of like from the trust factor. So, and then, like the paperwork came, right? But it didn't start from that. So it's a lot easier because you guys really understand one another and, you both want to succeed, right?
That's awesome.
I mean, is that like something that you guys did as well? Like, how did you guys kind of like partner up?
Well, we haven't, and that's interesting. We rarely get asked questions. We haven't.
I love it.
This
is actually a conversation. This is good.
Yeah. Jason reached out to me, so I started to try to do this by myself, and had a little bit of success and just get the name out there, like lay stake to my little piece of the internet, right? Create the name, help leverage my other company, which is Agency Vault, and just build awareness. And I don't know whether Jason noticed floundering or potential. He reached out to me, and we did our first one live where he actually interviewed me, and we got, I don't know, 300 listens all of a sudden. It was pretty cool. So,
well, here's the thing too. So when Craig and I, we just started talking. I used Agency Vault, which is one of his companies, and then we just started talking. And every time we talked, it was like long talks, and we're talking about all kinds of stuff. And he used to live in California, but it's funny. Craig actually asked me, you asked me to do the show. So I was doing my own podcast and he was doing his at the same time. And it was one of those things. It was like, we were both talking about how we were just doing them. And then I remember Craig going, well, why don't you just do it with me? And then I thought about it. I'm like, and I'm thinking, oh, I want to do my own, just so I can just do whatever I want. Right. But our talks were so good. And I'm like, dude, we got it. Like, there's something there. And you can even look at, I stopped doing mine for right now. But if you listen to like him on his own or me on my own, I don't think that there was as much magic, but when we're together, it's funny. So I was like, dude, we got to do it. And then Craig's like, we're like, what should we call it? I'm like, how about just Insurance Dudes? Cause we both say dude, and like, it's stupid, like perfect.
No, but that's why it works too, right? Cause it's so personal. It's easy to remember too. And it's funny you mentioned that, because it's so true in terms of like just having that chemistry. It's just like, and it makes you feel better to come to work, right? That you have someone to like talk to and just kind of like, bounce off of ideas. Cause honestly, that's one of the things. So, are you guys like huge NBA fans?
No,
not at all. Damn. But do you guys like follow the NBA, like the finals? No.
No.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, it's a big deal right now, just because, obviously it's NBA finals. But one of the players there, Draymond, he was interviewed. So basically he said something about like, nobody wakes up and accidentally becomes great, right? And so, for us being in business, being an insurance agency owner, like we all know that it's like when things are doing great, then it's easy, right? But it's the hard part is when it's shitty, right? And when it's going down like that, it's a huge blessing to just have someone to like talk to and just like keep you motivated, right? And that's what my relationship with Preston is, for the both of us.
And it is, we actually talked to Bobby today, and we'll get into some of that because I think there's a lot of similarities here. But those times when, and this came up earlier, those times when things are going great is when you take your foot off the gas, right? Which inevitably creates the situation where then things are going shitty. And then that creates that, oh no, I got to get something going, whether it's you, your partner, or your wife telling you, hey, you gotta, Bobby's story. I'm going to sleep on the couch and then I'm leaving if you don't make money. right? And so those type of things, it's like that pain all of a sudden, will get at least the entrepreneurial person is going to take advantage of that, harness that pain and really make it happen.
Right. I think the entrepreneurial side is yourself, like people that are really, really good from the outside entrepreneurs are people that are conflicted in their own head about it. Like they could, on the outside, they could be crushing it, making, 7 figures or whatever. But on the inside, internally, they feel like they're 10 steps behind and they're just racing to catch up. I think that's what makes a good entrepreneur. But the relationship you need in the butt sometimes.
No, but like what you said, so for like entrepreneurs, right? Like you mentioned, Jason, the fact that as entrepreneurs, like you're constantly surrounded with people that are, especially in social media, we all see like the highlight reel, right? So that's where like, damn man, like, if maybe you have like a 1 down week or something, and then you see like, oh man, this guy's crushing it. So that's where you kind of start questioning yourself, right? But that's when, you definitely want to keep forward, like keep pushing forward. And like what you mentioned, Craig, it's so funny that we self-sabotage, right? Just because, once you start getting that success and like you said, start, taking off the foot from the pedal, just because, all right, it's doing well, and you start seeing it go down. You just have to like start to be aware of it, right? And that's what I've been personally going through it. One of my mentors, Sam Evans, I love his like teachings, and he talks about setting standards for yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, all of us here, we are never going to do things for our goals, right? We're just lazy, like I want to stop, doing this and maybe watch Netflix, right? That's just like in our nature. But yeah, it's the truth.
Real.
Right. And like, that's just our nature. So what you want to do is you want to, completely change your standards. Cause at the end of the day, let's say, like you said, at some point, the apartment, we don't clean the apartment until it's too dirty for our standards. Right. So once we see that it's too dirty, I'm like, oh, damn, I gotta actually start, fixing stuff, right? I got to start cleaning stuff. And then same thing with our bank account, right? If your bank account is like, 50,000, it's doing good. You're like, okay, I don't need to do anything too much. I'm okay. But then, if let's say it goes down to, whatever our, that number is, right? Let's say that number is like, 5,000. I'm like, oh shit, it's only 5,000. I got to start working now, right? So, but just increasing that standard, if you have a much higher standard, then at that point, you're going to be fighting tooth and nail to not go below that standard, right? And I think it's a very valuable thing, and that's what I've been doing right now.
Stay ahead of it. You stay ahead of it, right? You if you're self-aware, here we go again, right?
Yeah.
If you're self-aware enough to know that, hey, things are going great, there's 50 grand in there, I need to push the pedal harder, right? Because otherwise I am going to get complacent and shit's going to fall apart. The wheels start falling off and sparks are flying. And Jason wanted to say something.
Right.
I was just going to say it's creating an environment, right? Creating that environment, whatever pushes you or whatever the metric is, maybe it's the bank account, maybe it's something else, but creating an environment where it's not, you can't be complacent.
Mm-hmm.
And that you're constantly growing and thriving. Like you're doing a lot of self-improvement stuff. I mean, I'm doing that too. I've gotten in this crazy habit, even at home, where people are going to be like, oh, God, this guy. So I'll always have an earpod in, and I'm always listening to podcasts, YouTube, learning how to do stuff. Like almost always, even like I'll take the kids to the park and I'm bad. I'll have that in my ear. That's what people are going to be like, dude, this guy. But I mean, part of it, I mean, I tune out of, what's in my ear, but like, I constantly, like, I want to learn, I want to achieve, I want to grow. And, up until I go to bed, I'm always like listening to something.
No, I mean, no, that's what you need to do. Right. But yeah, I mean, I think, sometimes, like you said, man, like, what are people going to say? And, like we like, I'm constantly like dealing with that too, because, for us to become who we want to be, right, for us to reach our goals, honestly, you have to go outside of like the status quo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be like open to honestly just being criticized from, and sometimes even from your own family and friends, right? It's crazy because, like the friends that I hang out with before, they start seeing you get some success and, they start talking shit about you or something, right?
Totally. Yeah.
And, like, I'm sure like everyone can relate to this. If you want to succeed in life, you really have to tune yourself out and just surround yourself with better people, right? That has the same goal as you. Right?
Yep. That will lift you, right? Not criticize.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's so important.
Be criticized, especially being in the public, right? Like where, we do this. I'm sure there's plenty of people that think, look at those dipshits, right?
Right.
Whatever. I mean, if you let that get to you, then you're not going to do it. And then it's just self-limiting, right? And that self-limiting mindset is you got to push it out.
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. And one thing that I've been super busy with for past couple of weeks is my whole family just moved here. So from the Philippines. So this was one of my goals from like the first time I moved here, like, 9 years ago. And
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks.
How big of a family?
Huge family. So there's like,
how many people?
I have my parents are separated. So my mom remarried. So I have a stepdad. So first of all, there's 4 of us. So I have 3 siblings. So there's 3 guys and then 1 girl. And then my stepfather has 4 more children. So there's like 8 of us. And it's crazy, man. That's what happens in the Philippines. But yeah, I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful, family's here. They're actually technically, they moved here, but like they're visiting right now because they got to go back. There's some stuff that they got to finish out. Like my sister, she's finishing up on, like she just graduated. There's some like paperwork to do. But yeah, so one of the things that we did actually was, because it's such a huge shift, we literally, like, when they first came here, obviously, they wanted to kind of see New York, go out, like do touristy stuff. But we sat down and really kind of mapped out, what is everyone's goals and what is everyone's, like what is important for everyone and what is the family goal, like overall as well, right? Because, you need to get that buy-in. And I think it's a good analogy for having a business or an insurance agency, right? Because you have a lot of employees, and if one person isn't on the same page, then it's so difficult to like execute, right? And that's how I felt, because there's so many of us, and there's so many different goals. So we sat down. Another tool that I highly recommend is called MindMeister. I don't know if you guys have heard of this. But,
is it like a mind map?
Yeah, it's a mind mapping tool. It's a really cool tool because, especially for if you have a big group. So let's say you have 10 people in your agency. You go into this. It's free. There's a higher version, but you can use the free one, full features, and then you literally can just start mind mapping and start putting in stuff. Has a really cool UI that it looks like there's like a cloud and there's like a brain map. And you guys can just start putting in what's important for you guys. You guys can hash it out. You can assign it to a certain person. It's real time. So as I'm typing it, I could see what Craig is typing. I can see what Jason's typing. And so it's really cool to just like put everything in there and then just be on the same page, So, yeah, that's what we did. And it's, as a family, we did that. And it's so much easier now because, we wake up at the same time, we go to the gym at the same time, we eat the same things, like eating healthy. And so, yeah, highly recommend that. I've lost several pounds already. So, yeah, dude, highly recommend that.
It's driving your life rather than just following whatever. Like, and
Right.
that's kind of what we talk about too. And to your point, like with your family, it's so important to do. My wife's going to kill me. I've tried to get my wife, and I were constantly on this where we're not looking so far ahead. And I'm trying to get more of let's just do a whole plan of every expectation, everything, and let's completely map this out. We can change it, but it's like if you get in the car and you have no map, you don't know where you're going, you only know up to 1 mile. You get in the car, you start driving, what happens after that mile? And so many times especially insurance agents, especially just people in general, we get in the car and we're just driving. And then we complain about oh, this happened. It's like, but were you driving? Were you controlling that? Did you have a goal and that was just, hey, a speed bump in getting to that goal? Or did you see it and then you take a turn and now you're going off on a different direction? It's like,
right. Yeah.
You created the purpose, right? And you create the purpose in your family. You create the purpose in your office. You create the purpose everywhere. And then there's something to work towards, right? Because like we said earlier, there is no there, right? It's always working towards.
Right.
And then, everybody's seen that cartoon. I got to get to the top. And then you get there and then there's whoop, whoop. Oh yeah. It goes up again. And it's always going to be that climb, right?
Yeah. Right.
Celebrate the victories at a couple of the summits, but it's that journey.
And that's important to celebrate those victories. But McBilly, so with you, when that was your goal, right? To bring the family out here.
Mm-hmm.
And that couldn't have happened without you foreseeing that. 9 years. I mean, how many people came out?
Bro, yeah. It's so it's how many what are we? So technically it's already there's literally 9 people in total, all including me. So there's it was my brother. So it was in steps. So the difficult part and we had to plan it out for a long time because, immigration takes a while to process. We had to talk to the lawyers, what would be the best thing to do, especially with my younger sister, my stepbrothers, because there's a certain time limit. So before they turn 21, it's a lot easier for them to go here because they're dependents, right? So once they become independent, it gets a lot harder. So, we had to map that out. But yeah, to your point, yeah, you need to start with something, at least to work towards, right? Whether it's your, in your business, in your agency, especially, so, it's a lot of us, right? We don't have a business problem, right? We have a family problem or a personal problem that seeps through the business. And so for me, the reason why I had to do that the first time that they came here is because honestly, when they first came here, it started affecting my performance, right? And so I had to sit everyone down and, just talk and just be honest with myself to everyone. And, I think a lot of, insurance agents, especially the ones that we talk to, our clients, it's the same thing, right? So if you want to, let's say you have a goal for the next 2 years, right? You want your agency to go to this level. You understand that there's sacrifices to be made, right? Now, the thing is, for you to do that completely, you need to get the buy-in from the wife, from the children as well, right? Because the children, they're going to understand that, maybe daddy won't be home at certain times, right? So having that and putting that, and communicating that to everyone involved makes it a lot easier for you to also do that, right?
Yep.
So yeah, and that's what we had to do. And I'm very grateful that we were able to achieve that. So obviously, now it's the next step. So
what is the next step?
So next step, very interesting because of our success with our marketing agency and just helping a lot of loan officers. So most of our revenue is from the mortgage niche, right? But then we also help a lot of insurance agents do we have a done for you side for insurance. We also have a course for insurance agents to help them generate leads so that for their mortgage loan officer referral partners, right? And so because we're, we pretty much have a really cool system that's already working. One of our meetings actually is a family meeting. My sister and I, we're going to start our own insurance agency as well over here.
Nice.
So she is going to study. She's going to get her license here in New York. And so we're very excited. I'm actually very excited to really dive deeper into this industry.
That's cool, man. And is Preston going to be involved in that?
Oh yeah. I mean, so more so not officially. He's going to help me out. I mean, he already has his own insurance agency. But definitely, he's going to help me out, help us out in terms of like mapping that out, the best way to do. So yeah, I'm very excited.
That's cool. So talking about the done for you stuff and all the stuff that you do offer for insurance agents, how can they get a hold of you?
Sure. I mean, you can add me in Facebook. I'm always in Facebook, McBilly Sai. But you can just visit our website at goodvibesquad.com. We have, depending on what you guys want, because it's not a one size fits all. So it's very customized because depending on what level you're in, whether you want to learn it yourself or you want it done for you, where we do the marketing for you. We have all the menus pretty much.
Cool. That's cool. Anything else besides we got the agency? Anything else on the horizon for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we have the storytellers experience that I'm doing with Preston and Nick Ayers, and it's going to be in Sacramento. It's going to be June 28, 29 this month. Pretty much it's a live experience for insurance agents. This is where we're going to teach them, our system. And it's the cool thing, how we will arrive there is we kind of thought of everything that we've done in our agencies and helped other clients, right? And instead of kind of on the learning side, it's easy to kind of learn it and look at it and just watch the videos, but it's so hard to kind of implement it because of the time factor. So that's how this was born, is because, all right, our goal is within this amount of time, we want everyone to actually implement it. And actually after that event, have something that is actually done, and where they can actually generate, literally our whole plan is to, by that event, you should already be getting leads after that event,
Nice.
So, and so the idea there too, especially if you guys are doing any lead generation, right? At the end of the day, I would say my influences in terms of marketing goes down to the foundations. It's easy to say, hey, Facebook it works. Here's some tactics to use, right? Here's YouTube. There's a lot of medium to use, but at the end of the day, it's all about your message, market message, and media, right? So you have to like match all those three. So it just goes to, you know, what is it? Who are you talking to? You know, who is your market? Understanding the client avatar, and then understanding, you know, their pain points. What do they actually want? And what level of market awareness are they currently in? So that you can understand, you know, what message do you deliver, right? And then now, if you understand those two, now you can actually think about where you want to deliver that, you know, through what medium, right? And I think the best analogy that that we use for that is it's like thinking about, like, if you're, especially for you, Jason, I mean, you're in a rock band, right? So if you're a singer in a rock band, you know, you can have the best song, right? If you have, so a message is like your song, you can have the best song, you know, but if you have the wrong person or wrong audience that you're, you know, singing with, like if you're in a heavy metal band, but you're singing towards an audience that likes, you know, Adele, then it's not going to work. Right.
Yeah.
So just finding out that like match, is probably the most important thing, before you even get into like Facebook and like YouTube and all these, the technical aspects.
That's awesome. Like, great advice.
Yeah. We've been around each other too much. If you could go back in time in your time machine with Bill and Ted, you may not know the. What's the number one thing? All right. What's the number one thing that you would change? I could go, with this hindsight.
Change in what though?
In your path and how you got to where you are.
Well, that's a very good question.
Joe Preston. You're not allowed to.
I mean, the thing is, like, it's, like personally, like just to be honest, like I try to, really take everything, in strides, in sense of like, I got here, like where I am right now, because of everything that has happened to me. And so, you know, like it's a learning experience, but what I would say is, I think one of my biggest regrets was waiting for me to make my move in terms of like quitting my job. Cause like I essentially kind of wasted, quote unquote, wasted my time working, as an employee. So, you know, I quit my job 2017. I moved here for, you know, like in 2010. So that's like 7 years of my life, just like working, and like, you know, I was doing like 2 jobs. So I would say, for others, you know, if you're in a position right now that you know that this is the right thing to do, this is where your heart is set, I would not wait, right? I mean, honestly, I'd rather pay money, and I've lost a lot of money investing in the wrong things, right? But I just put that out as like a tuition fee for my learning experience. Yeah. But there's, you know, time is just so valuable, you know, that's something that we all, you know, have equal amounts of 24 hours. So
nothing more valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's what I would do.
Great advice. Take action.
Take action.
Take action right now. And you know, it's, whether it's the right action or not, it's always, you know, it's not going to be a failure until, you know, you actually say so, or you stop, right? Because you might have some hurdles, but it's such a good learning experience that you just, you know, you take that, make it as a learning experience, and then you just move forward, right? Like failing forward, right?
Yep.
Yeah, huge component.
I think I know the answer to this question, but if you did have to use the time machine to go back, would you use the telephone booth from Bill and Ted's, or would you use the DeLorean from Back to the Future?
Oh, definitely Back to the Future.
Yeah. It's a no-brainer.
But I wonder who would say the phone booth, and then why? I might take the phone booth. I don't know.
Really?
I would do it just to throw a curve.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Because I feel like their adventures might have been a little bit better. I mean, they got to meet Genghis Khan, right?
Yeah. I mean, Michael J. Fox almost had to kiss his mom. How terrible is that?
Right.
You know?
That's right.
Maybe I did. I'd use the phone booth if I could hang out with Canu. That would be a cool thing.
That would be good. They're coming out with a part 3. So who knows?
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
I'm a little concerned.
Dude, I don't care. I love it. Yeah.
Well, hey, McBilly, thank you so much, McBilly C.
There we go. Thank you, Craig.
Appreciate you. I know that your time is extremely valuable.
No. Definitely.
And it was awesome to have you on.
Awesome talk.
Yeah, thank you, Craig. Thank you, Jason. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, and we'll continue to stay in touch.
All right, definitely.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Your Insurance Dudes podcast is sponsored by Agency Vault, an industry leader in agency coaching, hiring and retaining top talent, and sales training with the 7-step trusted advisor sales framework. Are you up for the challenge? For $99, you'll get 28 days of access and an opportunity to join our private platinum coaching group. For more information, navigate to www.agencyvault.com.
Hey, thanks for checking out the Insurance Dudes. Hey, please subscribe. We got some really great stuff coming out.